Hello YouTube, Ronin Kaze, left-handed, and it's working. Thanks, everyone. Well, YouTube, I'd like to be done with this saga, but I'm still not done with this saga. Today you're looking at Fallout 76. If you like any of the Fallout series, if you like the TV show, if you like any of the games, Fallout 76 is great. I think it's not good, it's great. It gives you the possibility of eventually playing with other people, but you're in that same world. That's Roxy, who's mad at maybe the people are getting the leaves. So what do I mean that I'm still in my saga? So, as you know, I've installed Catchy Linux on my Legion Go. Legion Go is great. And I got the handheld version of CachyOS on there. Now, part of that is great because there's some features in it that are really designed especially for the handheld. You control the TDP and all that other kind of thing, and it makes the functionality of the buttons. But the bad thing is, if you ever heard of Steam Deck, there's a Steam Deck mode, and I don't like that mode. It's similar to the big picture mode, but it's worser. YouTube, worser. Because essentially, I have two computers now in the one computer. I have a Steam Deck and I have a Linux desktop PC. I want the Linux desktop and I'd like to be able to switch to that other mode, but it's hardwired Game Boy mode, or I can switch over. That's number one. Number two is I've run into a million problems with this Steam. I love Steam. Thank you, Steam. Thank you for taking all my money, all of our money. But I'm corrupting my library all the time. And so you can add drives to your library, and I'm going to have to do it a bunch of different ways. But essentially, here's what happens. When I'm switching on all these machines, and I have drives that are external, I can plug in, and all these different computers. Well, each time that messes up the Steam library, YouTube. And so at one point, I had to reformat a drive because things just weren't working. Now, I'm old enough to remember when I didn't have gigabyte internet or whatever I got. But this is the problem I'm running into. So I downloaded, like I told you before, when I got the Lenovo Go, I got the setup, I got Catchy on there, so I'm downloading the Division 2. That's what I did some of that footage from, was yesterday. And then I downloaded Guild Wars. But when I downloaded Guild Wars YouTube, it downloaded the Guild Wars Steam version. So it doesn't recognize my password, even though I put in the provider portal in the blah, blah, blah to make it doesn't work. So this is one of those times, YouTube, where I ask you to like, share, unsubscribe, resubscribe, subscribe. Buy me a cup of coffee if you want. But this is one of those times, I'm not going to say this is just a man thing. Maybe women have this too. But in general, the trope is men don't like to ask for directions. Men don't like to ask for help. So I keep typing in the password. It keeps not working. I go to my other versions on my other PCs. The password works fine. On that version, doesn't work. I have a sneaking suspicions because I have this Steam version on there. In YouTube, I love to troubleshoot. But when I'm playing games, I just want to play my games. I don't want to troubleshoot, think about it, do all that stuff you do. So I asked for help from the support team. Of course, they write back immediately. No, you can't. The one you install on Steam is the Steam one, and you got to do a separate installation. And when I'm talking about downloading all this stuff, because it's like tons and tons of downloading I'm doing of the same 4 or 5 games. And I like to just put them somewhere. Put it on a server. Yeah. Put it on a server. So I may have to investigate that, but that's time not spent playing. That's time spent making servers and all that other kind of stuff. And yes, there's some benefits to it, but that's kind of what's going on. So you're watching me go around Fallout. Fallout's great. You get different weapons. You got to scavenge everything. There is a little thirst and hunger that you got to take care of every once in a while. It's not so egregious. Maybe it's not like Daisy or anything like that, but it's still a factor out there. But you're doing more fallouting, I guess. This character's like level 29. The last video I showed you was like the starter zone, and I'm just walking around. But this is my character that, you know, I think I was a pistol guy, and I'm always stealthing. So it's what my thing is, stealth. And you can see I become invisible when I stealth. It's kind of a nice mechanic. But we're here today to talk about that. That's number one. That is number one, YouTube. Number two is I'm going to have to reinstall Catchy because I don't want it. There's no way to unscrew it. So I gotta delete the partition, or at least I'm going to try it the first way. I'm not going to delete the partition, but I'm going to pick that partition and manually say, you know, overwrite that partition. This is aggravating because I have a full-blown version of Catchy on there. Why can't I just... Because. And so these are some of the problems that you have sometimes. I don't want you to sit and map it out a whole bunch because I'm learning a lot. I'm exercising old skills. I'm troubleshooting YouTube. But you got to have a general idea of where the direction you're going. And all it is time. And this, if playing on computers is your hobby, then who cares, right? You're just learning stuff. I'm not going to show you how I reinstall it because the main thing is once I have to burn another copy of it. So here's how lazy I am. I think I have a copy of it that I loaded up all my laptops on. So I'm going to put that one in there, but I got to bust out my keyboard, bust out my mouse that have the USB cords on it. I'm already plugged into an adapter. I'm going to have to do that. And it only has maybe 2. And if it doesn't have 3, then I got it because I got to have the USB thing in there. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. But I'll do it. I prefer to run it in the desktop mode because number one, that's what I'm doing on everything else. Number two is, as I'm switching back and forth between the Steam Deck mode and the desktop mode, I'm screwing up my library. So like how many, I don't have enough room. I don't have terabytes. I have a terabyte that I'm trying to put my stuff on. So that's kind of what the problem is. So I don't want to make the channel all about my trials and tribulations of Linux, but I also want you to understand that like on my laptops, it's painless. I took out my Alienware and just downloaded 5 games and everything was fine. On my dual boot one, I got it working and it's fine. My disk topography is a mess. Like it's a mess. So eventually I got to fix all these drives. And one of the fixes might be just to buy a new drive, right? You know, I always was afraid to do that with Windows. I'd always save the Windows drive, pull out and leave Windows installed on it. But now I'm so confident in this Linux, I would just completely erase those partitions. Windows has very little. There's some games maybe. But I think really it's lack of my ignorance. The reason I'm not more comfortable just going 100% to Linux is because of my ignorance. I want to install Ghost Recon, Point Break, that's the stupid move, Breakpoint, whatever it's called. And I use Lutris because that's part of the install on Catchy. So I started doing it on Lutris, but that's a whole nother thing I got to learn. So the possibility is there for me to do it. I just don't want to take the time to do it. What will happen is it'll become a point where it's too much and then I'll force myself to do it. But I want to show you all of this, and I'm frustrated a little bit because that's what some of this is about. It's better than the Windows stuff at all. So like those Windows 10 PCs, they'd be fine. I could have gone a year and all that other stuff, but I might as well bite the bullet. And the Catchy's so good that I like it. Oh, and why would my Legion Go run? Because I'm trying to run these games at 15 watts, YouTube, because I'm like, I gotta save the energy. Not trying to save the world. Just, it's whatever. The game runs great on 30 watts. So normally that chip, when I had seen it, was like at 25 watts, but they squeezed another 5 watts out of 30. When it's running at 30, it has no problems. And there's a thing called frame timing or something. So if you have Steam and you go to the third level of showing what's going on, it's not a frame rate, it's a frame time. And that's what was happening. If I had input on the machine, I had no hiccups. But the moment I just let it sit there at low rates, it would like stall kind of. So it's obvious why there's a 30 watt mode, because it doesn't stall at 30 watt. And if you're in Windows, that's kind of hidden from you, right? I saw it when I used whatever the HW info. It said this is a 30 watt processor. I'm like, it says in the manual though. No, YouTube, right? The tech tools were right. So long story short, and why am I going with that? Because I don't want to use the Legion Go as a handheld gaming system. I want to use it as my handheld computer. And so what I want to be able to do is go on and just carry it into the kitchen, plug it in, and play my games out there. When I go see my granddaughter, carry that with me. I don't have to carry a backpack and all these other things. I got my one little thing with me. And I can plug it into a TV or something sitting over in the corner with a pork chop or something they put around your neck. YouTube. So other than that, everything's going good. I'm trying not to inundate you all. I wanted to get a Guild Wars because I bought Guild Wars expansion. It's really good. And invariably, I'm an altaholic. So I have tons of alts. And on Guild Wars, I have necromancers coming out the wazoo. So I re-rolled one of those necromancers. And then I rolled it as one of those religious guys. Revenant. I don't know if that's religious, but and that's really good. It has high sustainability. Necromancer's like great because it's unkillable. It's pretty awesome. But this Revenant's pretty good too. So I'm trying to level them up, but I go through these stages where I have such lust over what I don't know. Anyways, YouTube, that's for another time. This is Ronin Kaze out. Thanks for staying with me. More Linux. Bye.